So just formally, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mike Gloria, Assistant Superintendent here for Curriculum, Human Resources, Staff Development. Right now, I get to oversee the pre-K program along with Jill, who is our assistant, as well as Mike Antonelli. If you know Mike, Mike is our Sidway Elementary principal. So between the three of us, we're constantly working at all of the sites that we have UPK at, visiting those sites, checking in, working with the providers, communicating. Our staff development here sometimes is also offered for them, but the teachers at all of the sites, so that they get the same training and level of development that our teachers at Sidway do. So we are very excited to be here. Today is Wednesday, May 15th, 2024, and we're going to be partaking in our UPK lottery. Just want to welcome everyone. I know this is the most exciting year for us because it's an opportunity for us to meet the newest learners that are coming into our schools that will probably be a part of either Grand Island or maybe somewhere else, but hopefully Grand Island for the next 13 years. So it's hard to think that the kids coming in will be part of the graduating class of 2038. I hope I counted right, but I'm pretty sure it's 2038. So if you didn't feel like the world was moving quickly before, you certainly will as you start in pre-K. Our goal really is to educate as many students as we possibly can and to provide choice for all of you. I know it's not easy to get as much choice as you want, and the lottery is designed to be a fair system to come up with a ranking system so that we work our way through the choices from the lowest number, which is number 1, to the highest number that we generate. So what will happen is that Jill Morrish, to my right, is going to be in charge of contacting families once we establish an order. If you are in the first 30 or so spots, you'll probably be hearing from her really soon in the next 2 days. If you're beyond that, just so you know that we sometimes will give information to families. You can always get information from Jill when she calls you. Please wait for her to call you. And she can answer questions about things like wraparound care, when the start times are for the various providers, when they end. She can also give you updates on where you stand in terms of what locations are filling up and which ones are still open. So Jill is your resource for that. She moves through the system very quickly. It does sometimes take a couple of weeks. When you do get a call, there's a couple of things that you'll be asked to do, or you'll at least be reminded of. The first is to make a decision. We don't make you make a decision on the spot. You do get a little bit of time, a reasonable amount of time. It's usually within a few hours. Sometimes people might need to contact the spouse or contact family to kind of make that decision, so we understand and we respect that. But once you do, we ask that people get back to us as soon as possible so that we can move on to the next numbers and keep the process going in an efficient way. The second thing she'll remind you to do is to register your child with the district. So just because you registered your child for the lottery does not automatically mean they're registered for the UPK for Grand Island School District. All of the sites are still considered Grand Island School District's program, so when you come in, after you have been contacted, you'll be asked to include that information as well. And just a reminder that if you don't register, your child won't be able to start, so we have to make sure that that's done. Couple little things. First and foremost, for whatever reason, this is kind of exciting. We have 8 sets of twins, I think, that are registered for this lottery, which is something I've never seen before. So just to kind of clarify how it does work for those children, if you're a parent of a twin, each child is treated individually. So if one child gets a high number and one child gets a low number, you might get a call for the first child earlier than you get a call for the second child. We do support putting twins together, but we do still support the ranking system that we have. So sometimes that makes it difficult to make a decision to say, hey, one child's in Sidway, but another child couldn't get in. We do allow you to go back and make a change in that decision later if you could find a place so that they can both be together. So if that makes sense, and if anyone has individual questions on that, I can address them after this, or you can call the curriculum office or wait till you get called and address it with Jill as well. So just to address the number of spots, currently we have at least 129 spots guaranteed with our contracted providers. There are about 36 children guaranteed at Sidway. We have 9 spots at St. Tim's, St. Stephen's, at least 36 spots for 2 classrooms. Carolot right now, at least 1 classroom of 16. Kinder Kids, at least 2 classrooms of 16 each for a total of 32. So hopefully the math adds up and that's 129. I mentioned to some people as they came in, we do work to expand that. So if we fill up all those spots and there's interest and need, we do know that some of our providers are willing to add spots and maybe work through with us to adjust their contracts. However, it's tricky because if we only get 3 extra kids and we can't make a whole class out of that, it doesn't really work. So there are some rules regarding the federal and the state funding for UPK. We do have to have enough for a classroom of so many kids. Last year, I will say that everyone who wanted a spot for their child was able to get a spot for their child. Not everyone stays with Grand Island Schools in UPK. If they don't get their first choice, sometimes people will take their students to off-island programs, maybe that are more convenient to them for work or in other locations. So, with that being said, it's a lot of information really quick. As I said, you will have Jill to ask your questions to when we go through the process. And today we're just going to get started on the random program that we use to do the draw. So Jill, do you want to talk us through it, or do you just want me to let you do it?
Sure. We use a website called random.org. This will go really quick. You'll see up on the screens, we put in our first number, we put in our last number, we put in how many participants, we hit the button, it scrambles them all up and puts them in order by 1, 2, 3, all the way down. So it goes rather quick. But we show everybody so we're transparent.
So for those of you, if you're at home watching and you couldn't hear, Jill is using random.org, which is a system that we use to generate the random order of numbers. Each person should have already received a ticket, right? And that ticket is associated with the numbers that will be posted when the generator completes the task. It's very quick.
So here's all our numbers. So we have 159 of 159. And I'm just going to press the button to complete the drawing. And there we go.
So the list of numbers that are generated right now are going to be posted to our Grand Island website. Jill, they're under the curriculum page.
Registration page.
Okay, they're under the registration page. So if you find the student registration page, you can put it there. It does not get posted instantly, so it does take Jill about an hour to make sure that everything's up and that we make it live and so that you can view it. So that does conclude our lottery drawing. All I can.
We don't have to show the rest of the numbers.
You can show the rest of the numbers as you go down. So again, I just want to thank all the families and hopefully if you've been in our school system before, hopefully you're excited to bring your next child in. I want to thank you for sharing your children with us, with all of our teachers and police star providers as well. Thank them for partnering with us so that they can continue to offer as many spots for UPK as possible. And again, if you have questions, Jill will begin reaching out, so be patient. She does work through it more quickly than you think, but it does take a little bit of time because people sometimes we're waiting on people to get back to us with spots, and we do give them a little bit of a deadline. But so thank you. We hope you have an enjoyable summer, and we look forward to seeing you back here to start your child's education next year with us.